Todd, it is so great to be here with you today. I was just saying I have no idea how you're going to respond to some of these questions, but I'm very excited to hear. You, of course, are a legend in the gaming and esports industry, and for Georgia, you are the go-to person when anyone wants to talk about gaming or esports. So it's an honor to have you here. I want to talk a little bit about the global gaming industry as a whole, now and a decade from now.
So as you mentioned, I've had the honor to work here in Georgia in gaming for about 20 years now, and we've come a long way, but I do think the best days are still ahead. So currently, globally, video games are the largest entertainment industry by far. And so it's $200 billion in terms of revenue. And for context, as we often say, compare it to all of box office film, all of music, put those things together and gaming is larger. It's actually twice as large. So that's big commercially. It's also big in terms of number of people it involves. About 3.2 billion humans on planet Earth are gamers. Now that's a broad category. It's not just your sweaty games like Call of Duty or Battlefield. Yeah. It includes Wordle and anything else that's gaming, but it's a big category. What does the future look like? I think it is more growth, and specifically it's actually more legitimacy around gaming as a passion, because even though everyone recognizes that it's commercially the juggernaut, there's still a little bit of a stigma around people playing games, and a lot of the work that we do, and really that many partners in Georgia do, are help do gaming the right way that adds legitimacy. And this means more programs in high schools, in colleges. Believe it or not, the Olympics now has officially adopted esports, and won't be in LA, but probably the event after that or the years after that. So at the end of the day, it's institutions that people trust starting to adopt gaming. And of course, that's a big opportunity for those interested in tourism and local economic development as well.
Of course, you're headquartered here in Georgia. What does it mean to the state of Georgia?
It means opportunity. I mean, I really do think Georgia is positioned to be the capital, at least within North America, of the largest and still a fast-growing entertainment industry, which is gaming and esports. Mm-hmm. Specifically, we're fortunate that we have a state legislature that understands it and has supported it with policy. Georgia has a tax incentive for developing original video games. Georgia has a tax incentive for putting on esports experiential events. So that's great. And when you take that policy with the assets we already have, the world's most traveled airport, venues, small, medium, and gigantic, and the creative and technical talent that we have here, we're very, very well positioned. I would argue we're already in the top 3 cities and regions in the US, and I think we have the opportunity to continue to capitalize on our lead.
So as you know, ETAG is really on a mission to bring a lot of Georgia's, I call them hidden assets, they're just sitting around, to life and really capitalize on destination tourism. We're already number 5. The Senate has stated we want to move towards number 1, which means we're in competition with our southern friends. I would like to know from your perspective how municipalities, parks and recs, tourism bureaus can bring gaming to life like they would for a film site, for example, that gaming fans from around the world could come and actually have an experience. Maybe it's characters, maybe it's a specific game, but actually have an immersive experience.
The same lens that conventions and visitor bureaus and municipalities should think about around traditional sports of small, medium, and large, they should be reaching out today to the college in their area, maybe some of the high schools in their area. I guarantee there's some passionate group playing games, and that's an opportunity to build without expending a tremendous amount of capital up front, like crawl, walk, run, and grow the community. That's in the area of esports. I know another passion of yours is trying to get other gaming IP integrated into immersive experiences. And the huge opportunity for us is to create more IP in Georgia, just like with film. I mean, I was fortunate that at High Res we birthed a game called Smite and others, and we weren't just manufacturing a game that came from a director or writer elsewhere. It was Georgians that were writing the story, that were doing that storytelling, and that's where the most value is captured. Georgia does have a really thriving indie game development community. And again, I would invite regions that may be outside of Atlanta through the college or through the Georgia Game Developers Association, another partner of ours, to understand who are the indie game developers that are already in your backyard. What are the characters that they're creating? They won't all be hits, but some will, and you can develop locally but play globally and then bring those global fans to where the IP was created.
You did allude that if the IP was developed in your community, that's your big opportunity, is to know where those games are actually originating and then capitalizing on that in your community.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if the talent that created it happens to be local, I think it's just another bonus level of engagement. When you go to these large conventions, you have lines for people that want to meet the voice actor who voiced their favorite character, or the animator, or the game designer. And so talent, we know, will bring people in. I do think there's other opportunities to engage. I think the easiest one is supporting the basic human appetite to compete. And if you just think about how developed youth traditional sports are and how many benefits there are, and how you don't have to be in Atlanta to have a youth sports center.
Right.
You could be a YMCA or a boys club, you could be a city-owned Parks and Rec, you could be just a venue that pays attention to this. And the big insight that I hope listeners and viewers walk away with is gaming has a stereotype of being somewhat solitary. And there are games that are very immersive that you play by yourself, but the majority of the engagement and revenue are multiplayer games where it's all about connecting. And the fact that it's playable online lets me make a relationship online, but then I want to take it to the next level and actually meet those humans that I connected with. And that's a venue and an economic and a tourism opportunity.
How many tournaments and events do you think are currently taking place in the state of Georgia today?
Every day there's competition, but in terms of large economic development impact, one useful stat is when you look at the top 25 events in Georgia based on attendance. Yeah. Last time I looked, 5 of those, of the top, I think actually top 20, are gaming or fandom-oriented events, right? So at the top, you've got like the SEC Championship every year, right. But then right in that next tier, you have events like DragonCon and MomoCon and DreamHack, and huge. Top 5 there, right? With tens of thousands. In the case of MomoCon, Chris communicated $35 million of economic impact. So, so we already have more than a handful of our, kind of Super Bowl-ish level for gaming events that are in the region, but then there's these supporting events that are happening every day.
So as we wrap up, I want to know what's next for you. Like what's on the horizon? What are you working on? What do you see next for you?
Yeah, I mean, we do 3 things as a for-profit business. We do live events, and I'm very bullish on those. We do influencer marketing through Ghost, which is a gaming lifestyle org. And we're actually making original video games again, which is what I did at High Res, and that's the newest thing. So for me, we have this new game accelerator called Ghost Launchpad, and it's a new initiative. It does allow us to practice what I was preaching, which is make original IP here, be at the top of the value chain, and then around that original game IP have influencers and do events. And so that is kind of the North Star for us, is we want to keep doing events for partners, but at the end of the day, we want to have a couple more hit games. I think we still got a little creative juice in the tank, and we want to put that out there, made by Georgians, played by Georgians, and then ultimately played by the world. So that's what's next.
I'm curious to know, in terms of, like, obviously we have the little peach at the end of the films. Do we have a similar in the gaming industry?
We do. And so, and just to give a plug for any legislators or others that might be listening, you know, when I go and see the Avengers, and I love seeing the peach at the end, but even if I'm a huge fan, maybe I watch that movie 2 times, 3 times. A lot of people see it 1 to 3 times.
Yes.
When someone boots up a game like Smite or Brawlhalla or Killing Floor, they do see that peach. They see that peach every time they play. And these games are not played once. They're played, in some cases, daily or many times a week. So there are billions of impressions of that peach. So the return from a marketing standpoint and people knowing that Georgia is the place that exceptional games are made is, 10x, probably 100x what our friends in film do.
I love that. Okay, I did not know that, so now I have a brand new talking point. So thank you so much. This is fascinating. It's a fascinating world that you work in. Not all of us understand it to the level of use. I love it. I love the way you break it down so that everyone can understand it and realize how they can plug into it.
Thanks.
Especially for economic impact.
Everybody games. It's the most accessible, democratized form of entertainment and connection that there is. Tall, short, man, woman, doesn't matter. Even those that are differently abled are able to game through adaptive gaming. So, and we're leading the charge here in Georgia. So we welcome any partners that want to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.